All right, we're back, everybody. Nice to
Hi,
see you
Penny.
guys. Hi,
Yeah,
Lindsay.
we're so glad to be here. I'm excited about this
Yeah.
conversation.
Oh, goodness, guys. All right, so we are talking about community, specifically like your neighborhood that you live in. I
Mhm.
just got this Mr. Rogers flashback when I said that. It's
No,
a beautiful day
you
in the
want Snoopy, my
neighborhood.
neighbor. Yeah.
Yes. Well, it's not such a beautiful day in the neighborhood
Mm-mm.
sometimes, right? And
Mm-mm.
you've got to deal with stuff, and it can be kind of frustrating. And I feel like it's getting harder and harder to deal with one another because I don't know, there's like a technology thing going on. There's like things coming between people, right?
Mhm.
Like, I mean, how many of us really know our neighbors? I mean, your situation's though a little bit different. You may want to tell people about your community. You have a fun
Oh,
community.
yeah, mine is unique in some ways, but boy, is it like what you just described, and I wanna talk
Okay.
about it. So, I live at a community called Latitude Margaritaville, Daytona Beach.
Woohoo!
And I know, and I love it here. It's really fun. We have about 7,000 residents, so that's about 3,500 homes in our community. And it's all under an umbrella called an HOA, which stands
Okay.
for Homeowners Association, except we call it hundreds of annoyances. It is not functioning well as community. And a lot of people have studied sociologically and otherwise why and how communities work. And ours is just no different. Even though ours is themed and we have live music and it's beautiful and it feels like a resort out here and everyone comes and goes, "Whoa, I love Jimmy Buffett. I want to be part of this." But at
Yeah.
the same token, it's real estate, and no one cared who bought the real estate. It was just if you could buy it, you could buy it, right? So,
Right.
how many times does this happen? I think about it when I went to college. I got accepted because I could pay the tuition, right? I didn't get accepted because I fit the school or I
Mm,
fit the community. And so I
yeah.
think we're missing the mark a little bit on what community can be and how to actually build it, right? So
Yes.
I've been thinking about it a lot, and I know that HOAs are just another government agency. It's another layer of government that's going to make people do stuff that they don't want to do.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, we've got one of those in our neighborhood too. And
to
and
you,
the
okay.
main
Yeah.
reason I'm bringing this up now is I got really annoyed at our HOA. Well, it was kind of like I got annoyed at a neighbor, but it was through the HOA. And I
Hmm.
just wanted like so we had a neighbor that was getting frustrated because early in the morning there were these dogs that were barking, okay?
Right.
And he couldn't sleep. And I get that. Like that's not
Sure.
a cool thing, right? But he said it was our house. It wasn't our house. So I actually
Mhm.
know what house it was. And so the HOA came out with this like email letter thing to us. And it like out, it said something in the CCRs. It says it's like really formal, blah, 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 blah.
It's all
And
legal
then
mumbo jumbo.
part of
Mhm.
it in the CCRs is like, if you don't take care of this, you may be asked to remove your dog in the initial email. And I'm like, that set me off. First of all, I was ticked off that an HO, I mean, our dog is part of our family, right?
Right. It is for almost
So
everyone, isn't it? I mean, yeah.
yes. I mean, how
So,
dare you in the
oh,
first
right.
email, like,
Yeah.
even go there? So I was mad at the HOA.
Yeah.
There was no proof from this neighbor. And the HOA can't tell you which neighbor did it. So then you're like playing like Inspector Gadget going around, like, was it that neighbor? Oh, he looked at me funny. I know it was probably that neighbor. So it creates all this
It
animosity.
does. Yeah.
And it's so frustrating. And it wasn't even us to blame. And then the person had no proof or anything, but it just set me off on this tangent that was completely not needed. If if the neighbor had come to me and said, "Hey, I'm hearing this dog in the morning,
Mhm.
could it be from
Is
your
it your
house?
dog?
Is there any way to
Yeah.
control that?" I would have, and basically what I ended up doing with the HOA was outlined exactly how this couldn't have been our dog,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
But it wasn't that's not what happened. I was just so annoyed, and I'm like, "Gosh, there's gotta be a better way to handle these kind of situations."
There sure are better ways, but the challenge is so number one, The neighbor that was having the challenge with the dog barking and it was bothering his sleep schedule needed
Yeah.
to talk to the neighbor who had the potential dog. Now, it's a two-way street though, because I've seen it happen on numerous occasions where you and I would go easily to a neighbor and go, can I talk to you about something that I'm hoping we can find resolution to because it's really upsetting my sleep schedule? Whatever. We could talk. There are some neighbors who cannot receive that. So, you could have been a neighbor who said, I don't care if my dog's keeping you awake. Get some earmuffs, whatever. And I've seen that happen too. So it's like, it's both sides, people. Kindness is the recipe here, and it's a neighbor. It's somebody who lives within earshot of your home
Yeah.
and technically would very much like to have a wonderful experience of that. And, but you have to be willing to talk. And here's one of the breakdowns. Currently today, people don't talk to each other.
They don't.
They don't listen. They don't talk. I've had conversations with people who just shut down within 30 seconds. Oh, you're a this. And then it's like, it's over. I can't
Once
say
the name
anything
calling
else.
starts. Yes.
The name calling,
Yes.
you don't care. Well, really,
Right.
I do care. I care enough to meet with you.
Yeah.
Like, what if it was your child? I think about that. I hear a baby crying every morning. They need to get rid of the baby. Like,
Oh my
come
gosh.
on, people. Yeah.
Well, so in our neighborhood, this is another thing that's happened that really has nothing to do with the HOA. And
Yeah.
that is our association has a Facebook group. Okay.
Ours
And
has
in
17.
that Facebook group, I mean, it might as well be an association because it is a middleman. So
Right.
it is a way for people to put out messages and do stuff like that without having too much accountability, right? Just
Right.
kind of throwing stuff out there. And in
Yeah.
our community, this is a while ago. I think this was maybe it hasn't been quite a year, but it was a while ago.
Okay.
So now everyone's got these Ring video things,
Oh,
right? So
yeah.
they
Ring
can
cameras.
see
Right.
Ring cameras.
Mhm.
So people have been posting Ring videos of minors, children. Now it's been on this and it's a private Facebook group, but something happened, like I said, a little less than a year ago where my kids were accused of something and they didn't have the proof on the Ring video that it happened. It didn't actually happen. And trust me, I'm the first one to say if my kid did something, we'll take
Yeah.
care of it. But there
Sure.
was no evidence of it happening.
Wow.
And they just put this video out there. And then you can easily see my kids' faces on it because they did knock at the door. They just didn't do what the person said they did, right? And there was
Okay.
no evidence of that. So then I've got all of these Facebook people, seeing pictures of my kids, automatically branding them as doing such and such, which they didn't do. There was no evidence of it. Do you see what I'm
Yep.
saying? So it's
I
still
do.
breaking down the communication. We
Mhm.
ended up having to go to an HOA meeting to defend ourselves and our
Yep.
girls.
Yep.
And I was like, this is insane, y'all. I mean, honestly, like, stop. I don't even think it's legal to post without the parents'
Minors.
permission
No.
pictures of underage kids. I don't care
Yeah.
if it's a private group, but it's just breaking down the communication and it's causing people to get really upset,
I totally see this happening in my own community. We don't just have one Facebook group, although someone went ahead, and I think this may have been genius or maybe the worst idea ever, but they made a Facebook group that's called Complaints and Arguments. And so if you have a complaint or argument, you're supposed to put it over there. But the
Oh.
other Facebook groups, which there are at least 12, I can't keep up. I don't even
Oh my
know.
God.
They're supposed to be more for the events and the what's happening, but every single section of our neighborhood has its own Facebook group now.
Oh,
So
geez.
things have to get posted in like 10 different places. And I'm going, wait a second, hold the phone. There needs to be one HOA sanctioned place where stuff gets posted. There's a calendar, there's stuff, whatever. And if there's an issue, that needs to be sent via email to the board members so that they
Yeah.
can deal with it respectfully. This is not an
Yes.
air your dirty laundry Facebook group.
Yeah.
I truly don't think, Sunny, that we're going to see a change in this anytime soon, which makes me so sad because that is a terrible breakdown in communication. So, to be a good mom, which is the title of our podcast and what we're doing, the best thing you can do when you're upset about something is don't post it. Find another way. Go talk to the person. See if you can reach out to your HOA person who could listen. I don't know, but don't post those things. It is not useful. It just
No.
drives a wedge. And like you were saying, your kids are getting labeled as troublemakers when they didn't even do anything.
I
And
didn't even do
no
anything.
one follows up with that stuff and retracts
No.
it. If you're listening out there, moms and dads, and you're wondering how to handle this stuff, our advice is get off
Get
Facebook,
off Facebook.
don't post, especially if you're bothered or annoyed, and take responsibility for your own neighborly reaction. You know, I went to my neighbors when I first moved into my house and I asked, do you have any allergies to plants or other things? So I'm aware of it and I don't plant them inadvertently and have you sneezing for the rest of your life, you know? And they were like,
That is nice.
wow, who does that?
Wow.
And I'm
Yeah.
thinking, well, I do, because I think this isn't a situational awareness thing. Think about how what you're doing is going to affect people. It's a really simple idea, but most people can't relate.
Okay, so, and I think this is how our world is going to change. We have a lot of
Good.
limitations. This is going to get a little woo-woo for a second,
Okay,
guys.
good.
But
Keep going.
so right now we live in this 3D world where we don't really know, unless someone's going to verbalize it or show us somehow, we really don't know how our actions are impacting people.
No.
But things are changing. And we're moving into a time where we will have not only that telepathy to be able to converse with people, but also we'll be able to feel how they're feeling. And I think that is going to make a huge difference in how we interact with everything, because either we're not thinking about how our actions are impacting other people, we don't care, we are pissed off or whatever.
Yeah,
But the
right.
moment, I mean, think about that. Like, think about someone wronging you and how you felt. And what if that person actually immediately in the moment
Instant.
felt what you were
That
feeling?
way.
Think of all of the issues that would be canceled because we don't want to feel that way. It's the golden rule, like treat others the way you want to be treated. But it's the, like, literally feeling it.
Yeah.
Our whole world will change overnight when that happens.
Well, being an empath myself, which, you know, I'm outing myself, but I do feel what other people feel. So I think it has heightened my situational awareness
Sure.
because I am acutely aware when I walk into circumstances how someone is feeling at the time. And so, folks, here's the thing. Social media has no feeling. And it doesn't know anything. So I think, you know, we're on the right trail. Just stay the course of taking responsibility, communicate openly, and try to build community.
Yep.
Wouldn't you like to know that your neighbors are feeling good just like you?
Yeah.
I think that's the goal for all of us.